you say, what are your hopes that folks get out of the book? Like, what are maybe 2 or 3 takeaways that you really want people to come away with?
Well, let me start with one of my current favorites with actually what is mathish. So
Please.
I make the argument in the book that people use numbers all the time in their life, but there's something rather particular about those numbers. They're often not very precise, and they're normally what I call ish numbers. So, examples might be, how long is the drive to the airport? How much of the moon can we see tonight? How many people are in this crowd? How much snow fell overnight? How old are you? I could go on and on and on. And in all cases, we would just give an ish answer. But in classrooms, maths is all about precision. And so one of the things we know is that when people are thinking in an ish way, so if I asked you something like, I don't know, 272 divided by 8, if you were to calculate that, it would be a very gnarly calculation. But if you ished it, your brain would be in a different mode of thinking. So it turns out that it's important to be in both of those modes, to be in that precise calculational mode, but also in that bigger picture, because as you're thinking big picture, you're actually thinking more conceptually. So one of the examples that I give in the book was a question that was given out as a standardized test as part of NAEP, in fact. And the students were given this question. They were asked the answer to 12/13 plus 7/8. And then they were given 4 choices. Is it 1, 2, 19, or 21? So 12/13 plus 7/8. And the most common answer from 17-year-olds was 19. So here you give 2 fractions that are very close to 1, 12/13 and 7/8. And you would hope that kids would say, those are both really close to 1. I'm going to say 2. But in fact, hardly any of them did. They either chose 19 or they chose 21, which is pretty scary, actually. So I would say that part of that comes about because we haven't given kids the opportunity to ish numbers. If we did, they would not be making these crazy mistakes. They would be really developing number sense. But one of the reasons I'm even more excited about it than I was when I wrote the book is I was talking about this at a conference in December in California, and a teacher emailed me the next week and said, oh, I went straight back to my 6th grade class and I asked kids to ish numbers. We were doing ratio. I asked them to ish them. And she said something amazing happened. All the kids who were afraid of maths and never contribute suddenly started raising their hands. And she's been doing this now for a few weeks. We went back, in fact, and filmed her. So we have a little video of the kids.
Nice.
And as she says, it's amazing. It's changed the culture of the classroom. Now kids are not afraid to come up with answers because, they can come up with their ish answer. And then we have a conversation about the difference between the ish answer and the precise answer. But so that's the mathish piece of it. That it's a push to let go of all of that precision. Maths for a lot of kids is a very kind of sharp subject with very sharp edges, that it's quite scary for a lot of kids and they don't feel comfortable. And a lot of that is to do with, thinking that they have to come up with these precise answers all